the National Service Authority is supposed to be an organization that actually makes sure that young people that have graduated from the various tertiary levels and universities are actually going to have hand-on experience of whatever they've studied in school, and also in a way contribute to the development of the nation by actually being extra hand in various offices and corporate environment. Now, this has been the order of the day for quite a long time now in Ghana here, but there are issues. Yes, there's a lot of issues with regards to the National Service Authority, and quite recently there was a lot of loopholes that was actually found by the auditing team of the current government that were kind of scary. I mean, this led to the dismissal of some key members of the same authority, and we thought we thought that would be the end. Okay, we thought, okay, now the people there have been discovered, and they came out a lot of, I mean, a lot of things, a lot of issues, corruptible issues that, Charlie, you hear say that you go bust your mind, because we are in the same country where most people are in this same the national service personnel. Yeah, these people, they go to these offices, okay, then go. You go, I know go do anything. No. Most of them, they are sent koto wachi, koto gobe, koto say. You go, then go send you we at the end of the month, at least you get some small allowance to at least cool your temper. When you now they are talk kind of fanta, be now they are ball crats na say. Like you appease your soul with the sending and everything, and that's around, I think, 715 cities or something. Yes, and even this amount of money, most of these personnels are held, like most of these, their salaries, some of them a whole year, and they've not been paid because there's issues with the regulations with regards to the payment distribution. So this is where the problem is. Okay, so quite recently there's been a change of system where there's an acting director at the National Service Authority, Ruth Seddoh. Now, Madam Ruth Seddoh was speaking, and he made some shocking revelations. Hey, Charlie, that he made a shocking revelation that, look, they have close to like thousand baby names like on their payroll at the National Service Authority. And the scary part is they don't have the system to track these names, because if they have a system that was actually feasible and foolproof, they would have been able to actually track the names, because these ghost names, they don't have Ghana cards, right? About 1,000, close to 1,000 baby names, right? Some are like below 1 year old, okay, and they don't even of course you have to reach a certain age before you get Ghana card, so they don't have Ghana cards.
If the system was foolproof, we wouldn't have had children under 1 year without Ghana card being on our payroll. You understand? We had almost 1,000 kids under 1 year on our payroll, on our system. But we were thinking that if the system were to be foolproof, the system would have detected that these people were minors, because it is done and it can be done to the extent that the system can determine that these ones are below the age of 18. But that was not done.
So the shocking truth is how these things are able to go unnoticed in a national system like this. It's shocking. You know, it's shocking because there's supposed to be a system. There's supposed to be a mechanism that actually can trace all the people on the payroll. Not like all of them, because there's a lot of people, but at least there should be a system. There's a lot of IT tech that they can deploy to actually make sure that some of these things are actually well taken care of. But unfortunately, we don't have that system as of now. And I believe with the current finding, I believe that they will work on something that is going to battle these kind of situations. But as I'm talking to you, we have about close to 1,000 baby names on the National Service Secretariat. So, National Service, and why you be that as a usika na amba uzebia yede ama akwala bi na say ne papa no be use and auntie you say wine the guardian no say they we don't know who put the ghost names for the ghost names and we don't know as of now. those kiddie the monies, you don't know. But that's not only the issue, right? Because now Madam Ruth Seddoh also said that okay, say there's about 3,000 people that are above 80 years, okay, on the payroll. People that are above 80 years. And you know, the National Service Secretariat or the National Service Authority, their cutoff point is 40 years. When you're above 40, you are not supposed to be doing national service, or you shouldn't be on their payroll. So how come that we have about 80 years old men and women being on the payroll, about 3,000?
We had some people who were above, I think about 3,000 or so, above the age of 80 years on the system and receiving monthly allowances.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, we have the exit year for everybody is 40 years. So how come people above 40 years were found on the system?
And in Wuka 3,000 and Kualana 1,000 boomer. That's around 4,000. And I believe that's not all the finding that there is. There's a lot of things that perhaps will even come up, because this is a section of what their auditing has actually led them to. And Charlie, these things, it's it's a lot of things, because you have a system, you have a country that is, most people are actually struggling to actually make ends meet. Okay, and some of these national service, some of these systems is supposed to usher the young people to the system, to the economy, to the framework of the working environment. Okay, so after you come out from university, right, you go to these corporations or wherever you are actually disbursed to, you are posted to, and you are supposed to have a feel of how the real working world is like. Okay, so that it can sort of psychologically prepare you for a smooth transitioning from being a student to a worker, and to a certain extent to a responsible adult or as a responsible citizen, right? And then you have the system that is supposed to sort of be a form of incentive, because the payments in the Charlie and said and but at least something there will be to me the atone soon and one a cook be an visa. And even in as much as it's not so much, right? It's even the so much, some people are being like delayed, and they have a lot of frustration and stress, like being able to actually to get their monthly allowances. And from there, and psychologically, it really messes your mind up about a system, because it's like you're welcoming into the system or the framework of the working environment in the country, Charlie. And no crown, no Charlie, it's not a good welcome. So before these students actually finish their national service in a 1 year, and then they transition to these various offices, they've already been corrupted to a certain extent. That so, because if your salaries are not, your allowances are not coming, some of them would have to find other means to actually survive, which sometimes might not even be legal. Okay, they might, and Charlie, and to actually come to the realization that these are the things that are actually delaying the payments of some of these personnel. And obviously, if there's ghost names, there's going to be someone that is behind, or the group of people that are behind these type of schemes. And they like, so 1,000 people, like if you do 1,000, let's say, let me calculate something like that's 1,000 baby. Let me calculate just the 1,000, like let's say, let me do even 700. 1,000 times 700. 1,000 times 700. 1,000 goes in, let's close to 1,000. Let's do it 1,000. Even the 3,000, I'll put them aside. 1,000 plus 700. Okay, the 700 months that they pay them, it's a little above 700. Let me just do it 700. It's 700,000 Ghana cedis. 700,000 Ghana cedis. Even the 1,000, so the 3,000 will come in. So because I'm the 3,000 come on, baby, so imagine that a group, maybe one person or a group of people are the ones that are going to just share this money. And the large majority of these young personnel that are supposed to have a feel of the system before they even get to their various offices or they set their mind up to work have already been corrupted actually. In our system, hard work doesn't necessarily imply that you'll be rewarded, because some of them their allowances are delayed like for even a year. What you see? So, Charlie, hey, it will be easy. This country, it will be easy. But sometimes it's one of these things. At least the bright side is, at least we found out that there's something, there's problems and we have to solve. Okay, so at least they've found out and they've brought it to light that this is the problem that they're experiencing. So I believe that they will take the right steps to actually make sure that they rectify these loopholes and make sure that the state resources are not disbursed in an unfair way. So I mean, it's a good thing in a certain sense, though it's a shocking news though. But at least they've made progress with regards to finding out, okay, can we do to actually make sure that we solve these or we close these loopholes in the system. So the acting director is actually she has assured us that they are working on making sure that some of these discrepancies or some of these normal ways then will actually take it from the system. I don't know what you think about this, but if you are like me, that day Ghana here, some of these things, even though it's shocking, but it's not so much of a revelation, because I mean we know how our system is, and we are hoping that we will develop away from some of these corruption and everything. It's not like we are condoning it, but some of these things we hear, sometimes it comes up once in a while, then you don't go hear anything about them again. So I'm just hoping that at least the right people will handle issues so that at least they will close these gaps, so that at least the national service personnel will at least have what they deserve as citizens or young citizens of the country Ghana. Thank you so much for always being here. And Charlie, if you have not subscribed or liked, Charlie, I would urge you to do that, because Charlie, that's a way that you can actually support or show your support the best way. The name remains Donald, not Trump. I'll definitely see you on the other side. Peace.